Hello everyone, Ouch110 here. Tonight I'm reviewing the glorious Shalimar Parfum Initial by Guerlain. This is one of those reviews that I get nervous about. There's only certain fragrances I get nervous about reviewing, and this is one of them. I can't tell you why. It's because Guerlain are just... Guerlain? I know, I should know how to pronounce it, but I can't. They're just real masters of their craft, and this is just so stunning to me. I think it's perfumery perfection. So this is the new twist on the classic and legendary Shalimar. If you haven't smelled that before, I have reviewed it. Go and click the little I button thing up here, wherever it is. And yeah, I mean, I think it's really brave of them to I'm just avoiding saying it again. I think it's really brave of them to mess with something or try and recreate something that is so iconic. And I remember watching a documentary actually about, I'll point over there because my television's over there. I remember watching a documentary about them making this. They didn't actually say what it was in the documentary, I don't think. I remember it being a pink liquid. I know they did say what it was, excuse me. And I remember watching them, yeah, making this and reformulating things to take elements out of the original and put it into this. And it was great, and I was really excited to try it. It's now discontinued, much to lots of people's dismay and horror. They discontinued it in September, and they put out a statement saying, "We have just shipped our last shipment of this fragrance out to the world." And it was apparently due to lack of sales. They obviously don't visit the forums that I do because this gets a lot of love wherever I've been, and rightly so. There are probably going to be some huge die-hard Shalimar fans out there that think this is disgusting or should never have been made, but I think it's absolutely beautiful, and they made it to be a more modernised version of the classic. The classic I still think is amazing. It is one of the best oriental vanillas ever. It's like a fluffy cloud of gorgeousness. This is a little bit more modern. I mean, it's just a beauty to behold. Sometimes I just hold it and go like this for hours. Beautiful bottle, really solid, gorgeous lid. That should be that way actually. It looks like the original, it's just a bit taller, and it's pink. So I'll go through the notes with you. I've got it here on my little screen. So the top notes are bergamot, orange and green notes, according to Fragrantica. The heart notes are rose, patchouli, jasmine, iris and vetiver. Slightly unusual to have vetiver in a heart, but it's great. And then the base note is all your kind of sweet and musky stuff. So you've got musk, tonka bean, which is kind of like a cross, it's very almondy tonka, I've said that millions of times before, vanilla and caramel. So despite it having all of those kind of stuff in the bottom, you know, the foodie kind of things, it doesn't ever verge into a gourmand or anything like that. It's got a lot of elements to it, and it's just great. I really think it's great. So let me just spritz some of this loveliness onto my hand. Oh. Mine's the 100ml one. This is the Eau de Parfum version. I got the lotion of it as well, so just to give it that extra kick. Oh my god, let me just swoon for a minute. Just while I finish swooning, I'll give you a little tidbit, if you like, or anecdote. Did you know that the original Shalimar was actually an accident? It was a happy accident. Jacques Guerlain, I can never pronounce that word, I'm going to have to avoid saying it. Jacques, in 1925, he had a bottle of Jicky, which is another fragrance by them, which I've never smelled actually. He had it next to him, and he also had a vial, a certain amount of pure vanilla, and he just threw caution to the wind and dumped it into the bottle of Jicky, and the result was Shalimar. I mean, what are the chances? That is one of the most happy accidents you can stumble across ever. Since 1925, Shalimar has been iconic and dominated the perfume world, and I just think it's a really cool story, the fact that it wasn't even formulated properly. So I'm just going to also, while it's drying, I want to just quickly read you what it says on their site about this. So it says, 4 centuries ago in India, Emperor Shah Jahan fell hopelessly in love with Princess Mumtaz Mahal and had the enchanting gardens of Shalimar built for her. Inspired by this passionate love story, Jacques Guerlain created the legendary Shalimar in 1925. 85 years later, Shalimar Parfum Initial interprets the legend in a new, modern and luminous creation, an initiation into voluptuousness. What a good word, voluptuousness, 5-syllable word. In a new, modern and luminous creation, an initiation into voluptuousness, sensuality, an initiation into Shalimar. It is the moment when it all begins, like the freshness of the first time, like a captivating new emotion. So it's kind of stuck between something very classic and very modern at the same time. It's like Shalimar for the new age, I think. There are only certain similarities, but there are a few, but it's pretty much an entirely new perfume. So let me just spray it again because it's already been drying. So anyway, here we go. So, oh my goodness, I need to stop swooning. You can smell the bergamot, the citruses, really quickly, and it's literally 3 seconds on my skin. They already meld and it already changes into something else. I can smell something in this that is reminiscent of the original Shalimar, which is something that smells a little bit like a leather. It's more prominent in the other one, but in this one there is something a little bit ugly hidden in all of this prettiness, and it's the vetiver is creating something kind of dry and earthy, and it's kind of ugly pretty, which sounds strange but it's true. It's got a huge kind of makeup kind of tone to it. Iris does give that sometimes. It's a powdery fragrance, and like I said, it smells like you put your face into a makeup bag, but there's this really gorgeous smoothness behind all of it as well that's almost fruity, I would say, but not. Really difficult to describe, and this is why I was nervous about doing this review. It really is, I think it's the epitome of something very classy and modern at the same time. It's Guerlain stamp. It's got this huge stamp of the company all over it. They do make these really kind of glorious, kind of expensive smelling fragrances, and this is, you know, by far, this is no exception. I've put fingerprints all over it. I'm going to go behind in a minute and just start cleaning it again with tissue and going like that. So yeah, it's kind of makeup-y, a little bit leathery as well, loads of pretty floral tones over the top, even though the florals in this are, you know, jasmine, kind of heavy. Lovely. Rose gives it a kind of delicacy as well, or delicate kind of tone to it. It's just lovely, it really is. I'm gushing, I can tell I'm gushing, I do apologise, but I feel the need to hoard this. When I heard it was discontinued, I asked for it for Christmas immediately, and thankfully I got it. I do feel like I need a backup already. I can't believe they've discontinued something so amazing. But every single angle of this there's something. It's multi-textured, powdery at the same time as being a bit earthy and dark and leathery, pretty, a little bit airy as well, and it's just a joy to wear, really. It does. I just watched Thrifty Chica's review of this. Hi, by the way, I love your channel. She said the sentiments that I feel, which is when you spray it on, you immediately feel dressed up. This is not something you just knock around the house in, although I have done that. But it is something that you would wear to, you know, if I had to pin it on something, you'd wear it to something, a nice event. It's just got that feel about it. It feels a little bit throwback glamour, and it's just beautiful. So the dry down, obviously you start to have these more sweeter tones come into it, the caramel, the vanilla and stuff, but it never, like I said, it never goes overly gourmandy. It's just, the sweetness of this is just an accent. It's more about the other stuff in it, the more kind of makeup-y, powdery kind of stuff. And it really is just gorgeous. That's all I can say about it. I'm glad I got through that review. I was a bit nervous, like I said. Great longevity as well. Not as great as the original. I mean, the original is the one that can fill a room, and the sillage on that stuff is just, you can smell it 5 miles down the road. Not quite, but you know what I mean. This is a little bit more subdued in terms of projection and stuff, but it's still definitely always there, and it does prick up a few ears and noses when you wear it. So thanks for watching as always. Click my logo to subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon for another review. Goodbye!